In other words, I can tell you without a doubt that if you're analyzing your life right now within some disturbing emotion, that 100% of the time you're going to make your brain worse.
If you think about your life,
if you're stuck in an emotion, like you're frustrated, you're angry, you're fearful, resentful, and you're thinking within that emotional state. In other words, you can't think greater than how you feel. That means then you were thinking in the past because those emotions are a record or residue of the past. So we see people in the process of change that are analyzing in duality or polarity. That kind of drives the brain into higher states of arousal and further away from true change. So we've done thousands and thousands and thousands of brain scans, and we now know that there's a formula to create greater brain coherence, greater brain efficiency, to make your brain work better. And when your brain works better, you work better. At the same time, it requires a clear intention and an elevated emotion to begin to change your energy and to change your life. And nobody changes until they change their energy, right? So then how do you get a person out of resentment, frustration, into joy and freedom? Why would they feel grateful or joyful or free if the experience hasn't happened? So most people are spending the majority of their life waiting for something out there to take away their emptiness or pain or the resentment in here. Well, if they're waiting their whole life in separation or lack, then and we create reality, then the lack is driving certain thoughts, which is creating more separation and more lack. So teaching people then to begin to condition their body emotionally before the evidence takes place in their life is breaking a significant habit, right? Yes. So instead of living by cause and effect, now we're beginning to cause and effect. So the moment you start feeling whole and grateful, we now know your healing will begin at that moment.
Yes.
The moment you start feeling worthy and abundant, your wealth is coming.
A habit is like a routine that you do without really thinking about it. It's like your body knows what to do automatically because you've done it so many times. This happens when your brain learns to do something without you having to tell it. So, when your body knows what to do better than your brain does, that's when you've formed a habit. The most important habit to break is the one of always being yourself. There's a scientific idea that says when certain nerve cells in your brain are active at the same time, they become connected. So, if you keep doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, and feeling the same way, your brain gets used to it, and it becomes a habit. Changing yourself to reach a new goal or dream means altering how you think, act, and feel. When you become aware of your automatic thoughts and habits, you're no longer controlled by them. Instead, you observe them consciously. Changing means staying conscious and not slipping back into old habits. This requires a lot of effort and awareness. Taking responsibility for your life is important too. You have the power to create your reality, but it's a big responsibility. Blaming others for your circumstances doesn't help. Instead, focus on how you react to situations. Your reactions can either keep you stuck in the past or move you forward. Practicing meditation helps you prepare your mind and body for change. It's about cultivating positive feelings every day. When you feel unlimited, you're ready to create the life you want. Practicing staying present and not letting unconscious thoughts control you is crucial. It takes effort. But every time you overcome those thoughts, it's a win. You know when you do things automatically like you're on autopilot? Like when you watch the same TV show every day or get upset about the same things? Well, it turns out you can take control back from those habits. It might feel weird at first, but it's actually a win. When you stop your mind from wandering to the past or getting upset about stuff, that's progress. Imagine your mind is like a muscle and you're training it to focus on the present moment. That's tough at first, but it gets easier with practice. And when you stay focused on the here and now, you start feeling more relaxed and satisfied. To change, you have to be stronger than your old habits and emotions. It's like breaking free from a routine. and seeing things differently. Instead of dwelling on past memories, you focus on what you want in the future. That way, you don't let old emotions control you. It's hard work, but it pays off. When you stop letting your mind wander to the past, you free up energy to heal and create new things. So, instead of being stuck in old patterns, you're ready to embrace what's next. Basically, when you wake up in the morning and start thinking about your problems, you're actually keeping yourself stuck in the past. But if you can train your mind to focus on the present moment, you break free from that cycle. You stop letting old memories and emotions control you, and you open yourself up to new possibilities. When you disconnect from everything around you, like your possessions and familiar surroundings, that's what we call stepping outside yourself. At first, it might feel strange because our natural instinct is to stick with what we know for safety. But stepping into the unknown is actually where we can be most creative. Think of it like going through a rehab process. In the beginning, it's tough because you're breaking away from your old habits and emotions. You're facing discomfort because your body is used to its usual routine. It might even try to convince you to give up, saying things like, "You're not good at this." But if you can push through, amazing things can happen. The key is becoming aware of your thoughts. Most of the time, we let our thoughts control us without even realizing it. But when you start paying attention to your thoughts, you take away their power over you. You realize that just because you think something doesn't mean it's true. So instead of letting old thoughts and emotions dictate how you feel, you can start rewiring your brain for positivity. By practicing positive thinking and envisioning how you want to behave in different situations, you're actually changing your brain's wiring. It's like installing new software that helps you become the person you want to be. It's not easy, but with practice, you can train your body to respond differently to situations. And by focusing on gratitude and positive emotions even before they happen, you're preparing yourself for success. Meditation helps with this process by allowing you to become more familiar with both your old and new self. The word meditation means getting familiar with something. It's like training your brain to slow down and move past all the thinking. You teach your body to do this, and we've found a simple way for people to practice it. If you keep practicing, you'll get better, just like with anything else. Meditation helps us go beyond just our bodies and the world around us. We forget about time and space. This is where big changes can happen. We study this with data to understand how it works. When we see that brains respond in the same way, it helps us teach better. When people understand why they're doing something, it becomes easier for them to do it. We don't rely on guesswork or old beliefs. We use science to explain how meditation changes people, and we've seen incredible transformations. Our data shows that our bodies can produce powerful healing chemicals. These chemicals can fight diseases like cancer. We've even seen blind people start to see again and paralyzed people walk. All of this happens just by changing how people think, act, and feel. So the first step is to decide what you want in your life. Write it down and imagine how you'll feel when you achieve it. Start each day by focusing on this vision. Check in with yourself throughout the day to see how you're doing. By changing your thoughts, you can change your whole life. Our emotions drive our thoughts, and our biology responds to how we think, act, and feel. This combination is what makes up our personality, which then shapes our reality. So, if you want to change your life, you have to change your personality. That means being aware of your habits and behaviors and making adjustments. Most people try to change their lives without changing themselves, but that doesn't work. You have to become someone different Our brains are wired to stick with what's familiar. So if you keep thinking and acting the same way, you'll keep getting the same results. But the good news is, you can change. Even if you've been a certain way for years, you can break free from old habits and create new ones. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is just your body's way of resisting change. When you meditate, you become more aware of your thoughts and behaviors. You start to notice patterns and can make conscious choices instead of acting on autopilot. The goal is to maintain this awareness throughout your day, not just during meditation. As you become more conscious of your unconscious habits, you'll start to see changes in your life. You'll notice synchronicities and coincidences that guide you in the right direction. It's like breadcrumbs leading you toward a better future. There's a proven formula for making these changes, and as more people learn how to apply it, we're seeing incredible results. Studies have shown that our brains and hearts can change quickly when we know how to do it. Imagine you're really good at something because you've practiced it a lot. It's like when you've played a game so many times that you know all the moves by heart. Well, the same thing happens in life. If you keep reacting to people and situations the same way over and over again, you're basically going back to your old self. To avoid this, you need to stay aware and focused on where you want to go in life, rather than just relying on past memories. Crossing over from your old self to a new one is a big change, not just mentally, but also in your brain and body. But if you believe there's something better waiting for you, you'll keep pushing forward. It's not about your age, health, or past experiences. Anyone can do this, even if they've never tried before. We've seen amazing changes in people who simply follow our instructions, no matter their background or history. When people fully commit to this change, amazing things start to happen. Their brains start working better, with different parts syncing up, leading to a feeling of wholeness and unity. This shift from feeling like something's missing to feeling complete is where the real excitement begins. By broadening your awareness, you can actually change how your brain works almost instantly. So the next time you meditate, try focusing on sensing the space around you rather than getting caught up in your thoughts. This helps slow down your brainwaves and opens up new possibilities in your life. Being present means focusing on the here and now rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. It's like training a muscle. The more you do it, the better you become. Most of us spend too much time either stuck in the past or worrying about what's to come. But by paying attention to the present moment, we can start our day with a fresh perspective, leaving behind negative emotions and habits from the past. Our feelings are like records of our past experiences. When we feel an emotion, it's often linked to memories stored in our brains. So when we feel something, we're basically replaying old memories in our minds. This affects how we think and feel, shaping our overall state of being. If our thoughts and feelings are stuck in the past, then we're basically living in the past. Most people go through life on autopilot, repeating the same routines and habits every day. This keeps them stuck in a cycle where their future looks a lot like their past. It's like their body is running the show, following a program based on past experiences rather than making conscious choices. But there's been a noticeable change happening lately. Everything seems to be moving faster, and there's so much information available to us. This abundance of information is empowering because it opens up new possibilities and makes us more aware of what's going on around us. This increased awareness leads to a shift in consciousness, which affects everything from politics to economics to how we see the world. Media plays a big role in shaping our emotions and perceptions. We can easily switch between different emotions just by changing what we watch on TV. But relying on external things to control how we feel isn't healthy. My goal is to provide people with scientifically backed information and experiences that can help them change their mindset and behaviors for the better. When we start feeling positive emotions like worthiness, self-love, and gratitude, we're rewiring our brains in a positive way. It's not just about understanding things intellectually, it's about experiencing them firsthand and letting those experiences change us for the better. When we're stressed, our body goes into a state of emergency. This happens when our brain thinks there's danger nearby. It's like getting ready to either fight, run away, or hide. In the short term, this response is helpful, but if it happens too often, it can cause problems. Sometimes, the things that stress us out aren't real dangers like a scary animal, but rather things like work or news that upset us. This constant stress messes with our body's balance and can lead to health issues. To change this pattern, we need to start telling ourselves a new story about the future, one that we believe in more than our past. We have to make a decision to change with so much determination that it overrides our old habits and emotions. The key is to feel really strongly about this decision, even stronger than any negative emotions from the past. When we do this, our body starts responding to our new mindset, and we start creating a better future for ourselves. It's not easy, though. Stepping out of our comfort zone into the unknown can be scary. But holding on to old pain and suffering just because it's familiar isn't helpful either. We have to let go of beliefs like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never have enough." Instead, we focus on becoming whole and feeling complete. When we do this, we can truly enjoy life's simple pleasures like watching a sunset or having a meal with friends. I've talked to a lot of people. Many say they feel really bad because they can't enjoy life anymore. They want abundance so they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, with whoever they want. They want freedom, you know. Some people try different methods to deal with their past traumas. But what I've noticed is that understanding your past doesn't always change how you act. You might realize your dad was tough or had problems, but then use that as an excuse for your own behavior. Trauma is tough, but instead of holding on to it, it's better to work through the emotions and lessen their hold on you. Many people with really hard pasts have done this and felt free from their pain. They end up looking back and feeling grateful for what they've been through because it brought them to a better place. It's like they had to go through a dark time to find the light. Trauma isn't just in your mind, it's in your body too. So when you let go of the past, your body feels free too. You start seeing things differently, and a lot of your old problems disappear. Memories are tricky. We often remember things differently than they really happened, and sometimes we exaggerate to make our story sound worse. But the truth is, we can change even if it's hard. We tend to hold on to our suffering because it's familiar, even if we don't like it. But to change, we have to face the unknown and let go of what's holding us back. It's not easy. Your body and mind are used to certain habits, and breaking them takes a lot of willpower. But every time you choose to break free from those habits, you become more aware of yourself and your actions. It's like a battle between what you're used to and what you want to be. And every time you make the choice to be who you want to be, you're moving in the right direction. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware and making choices that align with who you want to become. So here's the deal. Our thinking happens automatically, without us even realizing it most of the time. But when we become aware of our thoughts, it's like we're connecting to everything around us, even though it might seem like we're in an empty space. But getting to this place takes some effort. Sometimes you might feel frustrated or like giving up. But instead of quitting, see it as a little win. When you notice these feelings, you're already winning. You're showing your body, who's boss, that you're in control. And guess what? Your body starts releasing energy, like a powerful horse ready to run. It might throw up old memories or feelings just to test you. But if you stay calm and centered, you're teaching your body how to change its mood. And if you keep at it, you'll find yourself less bothered by things that used to bug you. Now let's talk about environments. Say you're in a boring old ballroom. Nothing special, right? But somehow being there feels different. That's because the real change is happening inside you, not in the room. If you're stressed out all the time, everything feels like a threat. But if you can learn to calm your mind, even the toughest situations become easier to handle. Take a problem with a coworker or a tough presentation. You have two choices. Let those situations control your mood or take charge and change how you feel. It's not easy, especially when you're feeling all worked up. But those are the moments when it matters the most. You might have to let go of old stories and reactions, but it's worth it. And hey, if you need to calm down 10 times in one day, that's okay. Each time you do it, you're making progress. We have lots of ways to practice this, from different breathing exercises to walking meditations. The goal is to make it a habit, so you don't go back to old patterns. And if you slip up, don't beat yourself up. It's just a reminder to stay focused on the change you want to see in yourself. Nobody really cares how many times you've fallen off your bike. What matters is that you keep riding. It's a daily thing, you know? Sometimes we look around and think nothing's changing, but it's crucial to keep showing up. That's where the real change happens. When you reach a point where you're just happy being yourself, whether things go your way or not, get ready because life's about to get magical. We tend to dwell on our pasts and how they've held us back, but here's the thing. Our memories aren't always accurate. We often make our pasts sound worse than they really were to justify why we haven't changed. But the truth is, change takes time and effort. We have to confront our fears, doubts, and the moments when we feel like giving up. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And when we finally let go of our pasts, our bodies feel lighter, and we're filled with energy to create a new future. The key is to keep that feeling alive when we return to our daily lives. We have to be stronger than our old habits and not let anything or anyone drag us back into our past selves. It's not easy, but you've made it this far, which shows you're committed to making a change. So keep believing in yourself, keep showing up, and you'll see the results. And hey, if you made it to the end of this video, you're awesome. Remember, to change, you have to be stronger than your surroundings, and every great person in history knew that.